and God can be concerned about me because we are invaluable to God. Can you just give him one more hand down of praise because we are invaluable to him? So the first we talked about incredible, talked about invaluable, but now this invincible. Let me make scripturally, let me make an argument here about how believers have to start looking at ourselves as being invincible. Let me first of all give you the definition from the Greek about what invincible means. It means incapable. It's impossible. Incapable of being what? These three things here. Incapable of being conquered, overcome, or subdued. Incapable of being conquered, overcome, or subdued. Incapable. It's not possible to be conquered, overcome, or subdued. Let me introduce this now and make this clear for you about how this works. Well, I remember when I was in college, there was a big football game. I don't know if it was a national championship, but a huge football game going on. And the football game was going on, and they were in the fourth quarter. And the team that my friends, my classmates and I were pulling for, the team we were pulling for, was down by 16 points with like 2 minutes and 41 seconds left to go in the game. And my friends came in the room and started watching. And I said to my friends, we're going to win the game by a point. And they're like, oh, no. So we were down 2 minutes and 41 seconds to go in the game. 16 points down. The team we were pulling for is losing by 16 points. And I'm telling all my friends that come in there that we're going to win by 1 point. So as time went on, they got a field goal, then they got a touchdown. And then with like a few seconds left in the game, they scored another touchdown and got the extra point. And they won by 1 point. And all my friends in the room, I was a sophomore in college, they all looked at me and said, oh my gosh, you ought to go out here and you can make some money gambling. I'm like, no. And I said, no. I said, because here's the challenge. What y'all are watching is a delayed broadcast. I already saw the game earlier. So the idea, well, we got to recognize the game has already been played. Jesus won. And all we're in right now is a delayed broadcast. I can tell you the end. Believers win. Believers win. Believers win. Believers win. And we are only watching a delayed broadcast. 2,000 years ago on the cross when Jesus died is when we won. And we keep living life like we don't know we won. We already won. Even KJ Cannon said all we do is win because at this point we have won. We've already won. And we got to live life watching a delayed broadcast. I'm going to tell you the outcome. We won. Go on to Revelation. Don't stop over in Leviticus. Go on to Revelation. We won. We always win. So the idea, so we are invincible. Incapable of being conquered, overcome, or subdued because we've already won. So what's invincible right here? God's love. Invincible. Jesus is invincible. Now look what it says. Invincible says it means to be powerful, too powerful to be defeated. Glory to God. Too powerful to be defeated. So now if you can read this with me. I am undefeatable in Jesus. Come on again. I am undefeatable in Jesus. One more time. I am undefeatable in Jesus. Please give God a hand clap of praise because he is undefeatable in Jesus. Now years ago there was a boxer, Mike Tyson. And that boy was just as crazy, but and he would come out, and you would see, you see Ali come out here with his robe on and everything, and Sugar Ray Leonard, they were all smooth. And Mike Tyson's come out with some black shorts, black shoes, just walking out in red bites my head off. And you looked at him, he just looked like he was just crazed and dazed. And 15 seconds later, somebody's on the ground. And here's what happens. The secret to his success later on, he says, was before he went out, he got hypnotized to get ready to win. So his success, and this is being crazy, was based on being hypnotized. Well, believers, I want you to know our spiritual success is based on us internalizing what the Word has said. When we finally start recognizing we are invaluable, when we finally recognize we are invincible, when we finally recognize at this point we're incredible, that's when we're going to start seeing some victory in our life like we have never seen before. It is time to internalize what God has already made available to us by the blood of Jesus at this point. So I am, say it with me one time, I am undefeatable in Jesus. Please, one more time, give God a hand clap of praise now. Please, one more time. Now write this down if you would. 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 14a. It says, now this is going to be our theme verse right here. And anytime you start talking about being invincible, this is your theme verse. It says, now thanks be unto God, who always causes us to triumph in Christ Jesus. Come on now. Now repeat that with me. Now thanks be unto God, who always causes us to triumph in Christ Jesus. When do we triumph? When do we triumph? When do we triumph? Who do we triumph through? Christ. Amen. Please give God another hand clap of praise. We triumph through Christ. So this idea of invincible. So I want to go back in here just for a moment. Here, every month I go through here and I give us some spiritual principles to help us understand the concept further. This first spiritual principle I will offer really helps us to get at and deal with this idea of being invincible. Here's our first spiritual principle. What keeps us from believing that we are invincible? Because even after all the scriptures we've said and all we've shared at this point, there's still those, because of everything that's gone on, who've not accepted the fact that we are invincible. So what's stopping us from believing that we're invincible? Let me give you three things that begin with an L-E. First of all, the first one is lingering experiences. Lingering experiences. What does that mean? That means we still have some residue from some stuff we failed in the past. And it's hard to think I can go forth and be successful tomorrow if I already failed in the past. There's some leftover residue that when I tried this before, it did not work. So I'm really leery about trying it again. So we have these lingering experiences because there's been a time in life where we failed at something. And here's the point. So as a result, because we failed, there's some folk who've assumed they're failures. And what we said last week is a difference between what we do and who we are. Come on now. There's a difference between who we are and what we do. We may have failed up, but that does not make us a failure. We may have failed up. That does not make us a failure. And some people have concluded because of these lingering experiences, because they failed, as a result, they're failure. Read this with me, please. Failure does not mean I'm a failure. It does mean I have not yet succeeded. Glory to God. Amen. Failure, what is it we talked about last week? It's the first attempt in learning. Yeah, it may not have worked out this first time. Yeah, but I'm not going to allow what happened yesterday to stop me from believing God for what I know has already been available tomorrow. That I'm going to keep on going based on how God is leading. So repeat after me. I am not a failure. I am not a failure. I am not a failure. Now what happens? So failure seldom stops you. But it's the fear of failure that often stands in the way. So please write this verse down. Psalm 75:26. It says, my heart may have failed, and my flesh may have failed. But God is my strength and my heart, and my portion forever. So first of all, those lingering experiences will keep us from believing we're invincible. Here's the next one right here. Low expectations. If I don't expect to be invincible, I'm not going to be invincible. If I go into the classroom expecting to get a D, the highest I'm going to get is a D. Now, I can't go in expecting to get an A and not do the work. Come on now. But the idea was they have these low expectations. These low, and too many believers have low. We talk little, and we talk and believe little, and speak little. We serve a big God. We serve a wonderful God. We serve an awesome God. It's time to go beyond some low expectations and start believing and thinking and speaking big. Can somebody say amen to that right now in the name of the Lord? Low expectations. Now here's what happens. Look at this right here now. People don't rise to low expectations. They're already low. They don't rise because there's nowhere to go because it's already low. See, I believe right now that every believer can go in and live the life God called us to live. I believe right now that we can live the life of freedom. We can live the life of favor that God has already ordained us to live if we don't allow these low expectations to always hold us back. Well, the first LE, lingering experiences. Low expectations. But watch this master right now. Watch this one now. This is what keeps us from believing that we are invincible. Limited exposure. Limited exposure. I remember I had worked with some mentees over at Jackson Middle School a few years ago. And this kid lived 3 blocks from the Coliseum and had never been in the Coliseum before. 3 blocks away and never been in there before. And what happened, we're trying to encourage people to think bigger and believe bigger, but in some cases the exposure has been so limited. Yeah. Right now, the idea of a believer even thinking about being invincible is just inconceivable to so many folks. But I'm saying when we leave here today, we're going to recognize that we leave here invaluable, we leave here incredible, and we leave here invincible because now our exposure is a lot more than it's been before. Let me tell you, what's been our exposure? Let me go back very quickly and let us know how we got to this point to be able to make this bold claim about being invincible. We start off the year talking about this. So here's the point. Your mindset matters. Amen. If I think I'm going to fail, I'm going to what? Fail. My mindset, when you're driving a car, what happens? A cruise control, what do you do with a cruise control? You do what? Set it. So it goes the same whether you're going up a hill or down a hill. Same thing with our minds. Some of our minds are set on failure and set on not doing better and set on not expecting more from God. Our mindset matters. Please read that. What is that? Change your mindset. Change your mind. If I go from failure to favor, I can change it. If I change my mindset from failure to favor, I can change my life. If I can change the way I think and look at life and expect from God, I can change my life. If I change my mindset, I can change my life. So if I have a new mindset, I have what? New results. You can't get new results with an old mindset. You can't have a mindset of failure and expect to pass. Got to have a new mindset to get new results. So we started talking about it in January. We talked about being extraordinary. And so extraordinary is the life you're meant to live. February, we talked about being triumphant. So what does 2 Corinthians 2:14 say? Say it with me again. Now thanks be unto God, who always causes us to triumph in Christ Jesus. In March, we talked about righteousness. Now, how many of us were ever told or think that to be righteousness is based on our actions, our thoughts, or our beliefs? How many of us are those or thought? Like, I don't know how to raise my hand, maybe call on me. How many think are told that being righteous is based on my actions, my thoughts, or my behavior? Righteousness is not based on what we do, but what Jesus did. Righteousness is not based on what we do, but what Jesus did. Please write down this verse right here, Romans 5:19. It says, by one man's disobedience, we were made sinners. Made sinners. By Adam's disobedience. And by the obedience of one, we were made righteous. Made righteous. Made righteous. So it's not based on what we do. It's based on what Jesus did. It's based on what he did on the cross. His suffering, his sacrifice made us righteous. His death gave us life. Come on, somebody. When he went to the cross so we wouldn't have to go to the cross. So the idea was, and we started talking about this imputation here. So this whole point, so when God looks at us now, he does not look and see sin now. He sees now the righteousness of God. Our sin is on Jesus' account, and now on our account is his righteousness. So now at this point, so righteousness is not based on our behavior, but our belief. Amen. Please read this with me right now. Abraham believed the Lord, and he credited it to